Netflix's newest spy thriller slowly entangles us in its carefully laid web, enthralling us with 6 deliberate episodes and a bittersweet finale touched with holiday cheer. Black Doves deftly ties up many of the threads it pulled at the beginning of the season, giving us a satisfying resolution to Helen's, Keira Knightley, central revenge story and Sam's, Ben Whishaw, character arc. Lurking underneath this feeling of fulfillment is also a strong anticipation for the second season, which has already been confirmed by Netflix. Even though the season 1 finale doesn't necessarily leave us with burning questions, it sets up consequential conflicts and looming dangers, some more obvious than others. Helen's vicious hunt for vengeance in Black Doves eventually leads her to a criminal empire that has stealthily taken over London's crime bosses and even expanded to the U.S. It is a family-run business ominously called the Clark Organization, and their influence reaches the upper echelons of the country's bureaucratic systems, including the Prime Minister. She discovers that it is Trent Clark, Angus Cooper, son of the matriarch Alex Clark, Tracy Ullman, who ordered the hit on her beloved. Blinded by rage and vengeance, she refuses to cut the misguided young adult any slack, forcing Sam to step in and kill both the Clarks. There is no doubt that the ripple effects of this decision will be felt in Season 2, as Sam paints an indelible target on his back to save his friend from the same fate, though, considering they were working together, Helen is likely in similar danger. During this first season, we only learn of the Clark family during the latter half of the series, and they primarily remained a lurking, insidious presence. Between Sam pulling the trigger and the foreboding phone call they receive, it is very likely that the Clark Organization will become the principal antagonist in Season 2, taking more of a front seat. Sam has already been affected by the imminent threat of the Clark family, relinquishing his potential happiness with Michael, Omari Douglas, to ensure his and his daughter's safety. During the closing scenes, Sam also speculates about how he and Helen will never truly reach a happy ending, and how this life of espionage will always stick to them. While Helen has reached some sort of closure through her acceptance of Jason's, Andrew Koji, love, comparatively, Sam is far more vulnerable to the emotional and spiritual consequences of the conflicts in Season 2. Black Dove season May 2nd also clarified another character's position in the story, one who only has allegiances to the highest bidder and is constantly switching back and forth about trusting Helen. Reed, Sarah Lancashire, may seem to have patched things up with her spy after their heartfelt conversation about love, but the Christmas montage reveals she still has eyes on Helen's household and movements. She had attempted this previously with Wallace's, Andrew Buchan, new assistant, but Helen quickly suspected something and got rid of her. What she doesn't know is that her nanny is also working for Reed, perhaps suggesting Reed may become more of a prominent antagonist in Season 2. Or at the very least, more deception and tension will ratchet up between the two of them, as Reed clearly doesn't trust Helen, especially with Wallace's potential to become Prime Minister after the video was released. Helen's contentious relationship with Reed isn't the only thing she needs to be wary of in Season 2, but also Cole Atwood, Finn Bennett. Surprisingly, it seems that there is a possibility that the CIA agent who was looking into the Clark family will return in the second season, despite having a minor role in the first. In the finale, he enigmatically warns Helen that he knows who she really is, but can keep a secret. We already know how dangerous secrets are in the world of espionage, especially if someone else knows yours. It may be easy to write off this comment, but it may hint at Cole's return or that there is still more to uncover about Helen. Sam's employment also saw a shift in Black Dove's Season 1 finale, where he resigns from Lenny's, Catherine Hunter, chokehold on him and ensures she won't retaliate. Though we trust in Sam's reading people's souls through their eyes ability, there is still a chance Lenny could be a tremendous actor, or she may change her mind about grudges later on. While Lenny remains a question mark, we know that Sam will likely be working with Hector, Luther Ford, in Season 2, especially since the Clark family will be hot on their trail. Considering Hector is the young boy Sam refused to kill 7 years ago due to his code, and during this season, tried to assassinate multiple times, the dynamics of their working relationship will be interesting, to say the least. These relationships call into question whether or not Sam can coexist with these people, if their respective peace treaties hold out or if the water under the bridge is just too turbulent to bypass. Rising tension is inevitable in Season 2 of Black Doves, as Helen and Sam will already have their hands full with the ruthless Clark organization, but also have the potential to be harmed by the white flags they thought they raised. Warns the children that Crimson Jack is a scoundrel, and Jod quickly tries to save face by reminding the children that he warned them about KHYMM. They scuffle and KHYMM winds up caught under a pile of books and maps as Jod leads the children out of the observatory. KB lingers behind to make sure KHYMM is all right, fueled by her own mistrust of Jod, and KHYMM cautions her to trust her head and not her gut when it comes to Jod, vowing to always be of help if the children need her. When they get back to the ship, Fern decides she's also had enough of Jod and his lies and half-truths, and she bars him from boarding the ship until he tells them who he really is. He tries to evade her demands, but SM-33 is more than willing to enforce his captain's orders. Jod admits that he never said he was a Jedi, he simply didn't correct Vim when he made the claim. Jod tries to reason with the children, going so far as to compare them as lost people, while promising to help get them home, especially if there's a reward involved. KB tells Jod that he works for them, not the other way around, and Jod reluctantly agrees to their rules. The episode ends with Jod and the Core 4 having to evade the pair of X-Wing fighters that KHYMM hailed when Crimson Jack showed up with the children. The sequence is a bit like a dramatization of how it feels to get paired with children on Smuggler's Run at Disney, particularly when it comes to having pint-sized gunners getting you out of a tight squeeze. Despite the odds, Jod manages to get them off the planet before they can be caught, with no real hint of what's to come in Episode 4. Next week, Watts and Ford return to pen an episode directed by the Academy Award-winning directing duo Daniel Kwan and Daniel Skynyrd, which is sure to be a delight, given their whimsical storytelling stylings. It will be interesting to see if the Captain Hook and the Lost Boys vibe persists throughout the series once Lowery isn't behind the camera, but the dynamic works well for Skeleton Crew. The series has really set itself apart from the rest of the Star Wars fare by toying with a more Amblin style, harkening back to the Spielbergian era of the late 80s and early 90s, which perfectly blends with Star Wars' campier aesthetics. With 3 episodes under its belt, Skeleton Crew has crafted a very curious mystery to solve where Aten and Jod are concerned. Hopefully, the creative team has given themselves enough time with the remaining episodes to answer both, while still exploring the larger galaxy around the characters. The first 3 episodes of Star Wars: Skeleton Crew are streaming now on Disney+. New episodes drop at 9 p.m. Eastern Time every Tuesday.